Listen, let's see how close I am. Must be pretty close, I think. Sounds pretty good to me. So I've had a couple of successes today, as well as getting the carburetor back on, getting it tuned up. I repaired the blinker switch. I'll show you the video on that in a moment. And now I've got this grounded because it needs to be grounded for this light to work. Turn the blinker on. We've got a blinker flashing here. If you look out there, you can see a blinker flashing out there, and that's consistent. That's what we needed. We needed a new flusher can to rectify it because the other one was fried. But success. New update. What I've done is taken the wiper mechanism out of the car. This side was loose on the drive. This side was loose on the drive. The rubber mounts don't fit correctly. These bushes aren't doing the job, so we'll have a chat about them. That's the wiper motor out of the car. What I was talking about is these screws were loose, so it can't clamp onto this drive. Eventually they would have just rattled out and fallen on the firewall. These bushes here I think are probably a little bit oversized, so what I'm going to do is trying to get them reduced on some sandpaper. I think there's a loom in the box in the back room. I'll check that. I don't think it's for here, but anyway, I'll make that up. And I think we need to probably order these bushes. I had a look in the Mini Spares catalogue. This is what we need, is those bushes there. We've still got the mounts are still here. The washers are still here, the nuts are still here. So we should be able to get away with just those bushes. So far what I've done is ground them down as you saw on the belt sander, which are over the back there. So I can get the tapers correct. Once I've got some taper there, I'm allowing for a little bit of crush between the panel on in front of the windscreen. That should give me enough to get the nut started. Once I've got the nut started, then I'll be able to do that up so it's flush. It'll give me tension on here, seal the bulkhead. That's my plan. Okay, so now I've got these screws tightened up, these screws tightened up. I'll leave that loose until we get it in the car. Got you chasing up the bushes for the mounts, Nev. I'll put this aside so I can get onto something else. I think this is probably steering wheel needs to go back on the car, I think, Nev. Even though it's a bit grubby, it's still got some great patina, and it's the original steering wheel. So I think we could clean this up, give it a wipe down, leave it as it is, and put it back on the car. Okay, I'll retract my thoughts. I like the steering wheel, but the problem is that it's probably a little bit far gone now. I've inspected it. I'm going to pop this out of here. Looks like somebody's levered this out at some stage and broken the contact here. It's broken. Yeah, spring's missing, so it's a bit of a shame. We could probably maybe in the future chase up a button and a horn contact and get that rectified, then put this wheel back on. A bit of a setback. Yeah, have a look here. I was checking the wiring for the dash lights, because you've got, you had illumination here, no illumination in here. See the light switched on. I heard a crackling noise. Don't know what is shorted out, but I've got melted plastic here. So, okay, that's a couple of steps backwards. I'm going to need to find out where this has been shorted out. Anyway, I'll work it out. Maybe I found the culprit. Somehow I don't think that there should be grounded through the instrument cluster. The globe is what tells your voltage regulator what to do, pretty much. So we get a resistance here. The regulator knows it needs to send voltage to the generator. The generator then in turn generates voltage, increases the amperage. That's supposed to go through that contact and the body of the globe. Here we have a damaged socket where it's broken the corner out. That in turn should not be going to ground through the cluster. The generator trying to send all the voltage to ground through here, through that broken socket, through that connector. Oh mate, the maybe 6 amp wire can't cope with all that amperage. Turn to smoke. Maybe it's a Lucas wire. At least it still starts with that fried wire. I was concerned it done further damage. Just going to try and give you an indication of what's happened with the warning light in the car. 44 is the warning light for the generator. See, you got a wire comes in, a wire that goes back out, so it doesn't ground through the cluster. That's your instrument or your speedo cluster, whatever you want to call it. This globe here, got a wire in, goes through the globe, then that symbol is to ground. That's shorting or grounding through the cluster. So that wire that's melted is melted because this here is trying to ground through the speedo. That's where I had that problem. So we need to do something about that. Just might disconnect this until I'm satisfied. I'll find all the shorts.